Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 7 of our slow and immersive playthrough of Venezuela in Victoria 3 post the release of patch 1.5 and the little 1.5.8 hotfix released earlier today. Let's go ahead and unpause, just keep the time running. We're in January 1878, slowly industrializing Venezuela, pushing through the liberal agenda. Yep. Increasing a few of the institutions. And yeah, although the Conservative Party has come to power, we pushed through elected bureaucrats anyway, because our president is a Democrat of petite bourgeoisie. Here we now do have a movement to enact national supremacy, but it's low support, so not really sure how that fits into our agenda. Okay, let's look. Reinforced concrete unlocked. By adding steel reinforcing bars or rebar to concrete, structures can take advantage of steel's greater strength with only a modest increase in cost and weight. Plus 15% construction sector building throughput. Okay. We have canneries unlocked. Canneries are machines made specifically to seal food in airtight containers so that it can be preserved for longer. We have food industries. We have one building. We have canneries. Okay, more. This gives us groceries. Oh, okay, so it's kind of like a secondary line. Interesting. Oh wait, no. So we can like produce groceries with grain, which is sort of what it's supposed to do now, but it's not really doing. Oh no, sorry. And then we have stills that are supposed to be producing alcohol. Does anyone even want alcohol in our market? Let's have a look. 0 production, consumption of 3. Yes, nobody even wants this, so okay, whatever. So canneries don't really matter, but what matters is that they open up a path to mechanized workshops for us, which will help us automate our textile mills and furniture manufactories. And yeah, free up some of the much needed labor in our economy. Go ahead and put it to speed 4. What are we doing? We're constructing more, increase investment education to level 3. Good. Since we now have universal suffrage, I think it will be wise to actually educate our subjects. Go ahead and increase dedicated police, since we used to have turmoil. Okay, that turmoil has gone away now, so that's good. Perhaps we don't even need the dedicated police anymore, but it's okay. Input goods shortage. What is this? Maize farms. Maize farms. Fertilizer. Yeah, okay, well we are building a fertilizer plant as we speak. 40 weeks and it will be done. Running a little deficit. Government wages, military buildings. What is our budget? We're paying normal wages. Could be more generous. Do we need to be? No. Market access in Bolivar is 94%. Transportation shortage in Zulia. Engine shortage in the Venezuelan market. I don't get it. Like, if there is a shortage, then why aren't we building more motors? Can we build more motors? Let's try and subsidize this thing. See what happens. We will build level 2 railways. Petite bourgeoisie petition government. Representing his constituents in the petite bourgeoisie, Ezekiel Hiran has issued a formal petition to the Venezuelan government to pass censorship. We'll see what we can do. Oh no, we just got rights of assembly passed, guys. Ezekiel Hiran. Who's against this? Rural folk oppose this. Intelligentsia opposes this. Guys, you're the ones who voted for the Conservative Party. Like, we have universal suffrage. Venezuelan nation was successfully completed. A national awakening in our country has led to the emergence of a distinct Venezuelan identity among leading nationalists. North Andean no more, we're now Venezuelan people. Okay, Venezuelan becomes primary culture of Venezuela. North Andean stops being the primary culture. New national identity. Hang on. Okay. Becomes Venezuelan homeland. Okay. Joint stock companies. A joint stock company is one whose ownership is divided into a number of shares which are held unequally by many investors who derive dividends from the company according to the size of the portion they own. This allows trading of partial ownership and investment by both rich and middle-class businessmen. Plus 1 maximum of companies minus 10% urbanization per urban center leads to investment banks. Perfect. 29 started to spread to us. A new national identity. Okay, although once part of a greater continuum, sharing a common colonial government and common leadership with our neighbors, we have diverged considerably since we won our independence. It is time we fully assumed new Venezuelan identity. Will complete if all Venezuelan states, currently 1 of 3 fulfill this requirement, state is not a North Andean homeland. If completed, triggers the event the Venezuelan nation plus 10% Venezuelan pops. Venezuela become more loyalists. Okay. Blossoming national identity plus 50% assimilation. 50% radicals from discrimination. Plus 25% loyalists from standard living increases. Okay. Triage unlocked. By treating the wounded in regard to the seriousness of their wound and the likelihood of recovery, it is possible to make a much more effective emergency care system. Okay. We're in a little bit over deficit. Go ahead and unpause. Need more fertilizer in our market. I guess, it's because the livestock ranchers have stopped producing things. Yeah, it's hard to rely on them though for the fertilizer. I mean, we could just go back to a sheep ranch. That produces a lot less fabric. Interesting. Okay, they will just supplement our fertilizer industry, whereas the bulk of the fertilizer will be produced in Zulia. Okay, armed forces are now influential. Okay, supposed to marginalize. Okay, education increased to 3. Law enforcement to 4. Yeah, we don't need anything else. Okay, we're back at 2.5 million. God, our GDP has grown in fits and starts. Cotton plantations. Interesting. I didn't know we could build cotton plantations. Wait, this solves our need for fabric, though. Perhaps it's only... A second. Yeah, actually we kind of missed that at the very start, that this is what lets us build. So let's just do fabric and livestock ranches now. Meat, fabric, fertilizer. Okay, they're suddenly employing people. Fertilizer plants. Okay, we now have plenty of fertilizer in our country. Alright, more than enough for everybody. Zulia is getting railways. Perfect. Transportation. We now have a lot of motors, and they're cheap. They cost us 1,500. But as soon as we turn this off, we're going to get a shortage. That's a little bit frustrating. It feels to me like it costs us 1,500 to subsidize motors, and now if we don't subsidize motors, it's going to start costing us a lot more to subsidize railways. Right? Services are cheap. Services are cheap. Services are cheap. Yeah, Zulia desperately needs transportation. The rest, I mean, Miranda could use some railways. And then Bolivar could also use, well, Bolivar could use some railways for the infrastructure. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Why does this cost us a fortune now? Subsidies, what's going on? Why is it costing us 7,500 now? Ports, universities, spending 2,900 on paper. Why is that? Paper is cheap, guys. Why did we just go to 7,500 deficit? Bit of interest. Subsidies from railways. Okay. Goods for military buildings. Is it because it costs government administration, for example, costs us all? Is that because we need to... No, they're not too expensive now. Wait, hang on. But these have stabilized at a reasonable level, so why is it minus 7,000? Industrial barriers. Factories in Zulia have been reported to be placing Caribbean people into roles with incredibly poor work conditions, owing to their status as second-class citizens in Venezuela. This unequal treatment cannot stand. They're lucky that they're given any job at all. Oh, well, I mean, we do have the... Petite bourgeoisie is in power, and we do have racial segregation. National supremacy pop support. When someone gets racist reactions for 5 years, 5% national supremacy. Support. Catholic Church gets -2 segregation eroding. I mean, this unequal treatment cannot stand. We did ban slavery. We should push for equality. -7,000. Why? Why is that? Spending 8,000 on iron, but I mean, iron is not expensive by any stretch of imagination. We could always just give it one more level. It's a super productive building. Right, one could always live with more iron. Let's build this thing. More engines. So now, for example, if we do... Yeah, so engines cost 72 in the province where they actually build. Local price 73, -12% compared to Venezuelan market price, plus 21% compared to base price. 14 local production, 5 local consumption. Price setting 84% from market price, 15% from production and consumption in Bolivar, -12% compared to Venezuelan market price. Base price is 60. Here, in the state next to it, local price is 87, plus 3% compared to Venezuelan market price, plus 45% compared to base price. And we could... Okay, we went back to 500,000. Why is that? There's no reason. These numbers have... That's some sort of bug or something. Maybe that was displayed because we didn't even build up that... No, we did build up a deficit. Yeah, we're 200,000 in debt. Odd. Not sure what's going on there, to be really honest. What do we need for explosives? For explosives, we need sulfur and fertilizer. We need dynamite, though, for that. Let's get mechanized workshops. We could then get dynamite. That's another way to increase output from our mines, so coal and iron. And we could build and improve our industry. more fertilizers for farms. Would likewise be a good thing. In fact, I would even say let's get fertilizer first and then we get dynamite. Small deficit is okay. We need to get our GDP above 2.5 million finally. We've been hovering at this level for like 15 years, if not 20 now. The grand plan pays off. Ezekiel Heran, the methodical leader of the petite bourgeoisie, has been studiously working behind the scenes for some time now, and at last all his work has paid off for petite bourgeoisie in Venezuela. Petite bourgeoisie shall reap the rewards. Venezuela shall reap the rewards. Minus 20% loan interest rate, plus 20% gold reserve limit. No, petite bourgeoisie, I guess, should be... Actually, the default choice is Venezuela shall reap the rewards. The man is so pleased with his act that he looks like he's about to burst into flames of contained emotion. How charming, professionally speaking, though not the most clever move. Yes, just as planned. I guess the petite bourgeoisie will reap the rewards. With inefficient agriculture, the industrialists have started complaining about the existence of subsistence farms in Bolivar, stating that their undeniable inefficiency should be immediately addressed. We should follow their advice. Bolivar gets discouraged subsistence farming, plus 25% migration attraction. 5% of upper strata become more radical. Sure. Mechanized workshops. A mechanized workshop is the replacement of various physical tasks in a workshop with mechanical solutions, allowing a greater amount of work to be completed at a faster rate. Sure. So then we go to our buildings. Go urban, for example. Textile mills all need mechanized looms. More tools and fewer less labor used. And in our furniture, likewise, urban centers. Okay, let's put all urban centers need public trams, but also furniture manufacturers. I don't know, furniture manufacturers are already they use water tube boiler. Okay, so it's only textile mills. They use mechanized looms. I'm sure there was another industry. They use mechanized looms. Unlock sewing machines for textile mills. Mechanized looms for textile mills. Mechanized workshops for furniture manufacturers. Hang on. So furniture manufacturers. Water boiler. Okay. Sorry. Mechanized workshops is okay. Just increasing the volume of production. Don't really need. Fine. And for textile mills, then yeah, it's also unlocked sewing machines, so more clothes can be produced. So we need more dyes. Need more fertilizer. Where's the fertilizer plant? Let's go, guys. Can we get this off the ground? Look, sulfur is super cheap. We're not even subsidizing it, and it's so cheap. I mean... possibly be cheaper. Let's get cheap fertilizer for everybody. For all the farms. There you go. It's already cheaper than possibly ever wanted to be. I'm not even going to subsidize it anymore. Okay. Cheap. More fertilizer, more this. Okay. Hang on, we had another election. His ruler has ended. Antonio Guzman is the new president of Venezuela. Election. Great Liberal Party has won. Conservative Party second place. Free Trade Party in third place. So again, rural folk, intelligentsia, and the armed forces have won. Out with the Conservatives, in with the Great Liberal Party. Yep. We only get unacceptable government with them. But there we are. Everyone has reconsidered their stance. Ooh, Conservative Party is not happy. Segregation eroding, unacceptable government. Leader trait persistent. Catholic Church is opposed to everything we have. Private schools, private health insurance. Endorses legal guardianship. God. Okay, Great Liberal Party. Okay, Antonio Leocadio Guzman is at least an abolitionist, and we have slavery banned. He's part of intelligentsia, so we're back in power. This leader finds slavery an abhorrent violation of human rights and seeks to abolish it from the world. Stands on land reform, neutral towards tenant homesteading, okay, collectivized and commercialized. Intelligentsia, the intellectuals leading the nation's trends in literature, art, music, and theater. Experienced political operator, 10% authority, and persistent. This character is known for their persistence, and this character has vast experience with the workings of the political machine. Okay. He's a Republican, so we already endorse everything here. Anti-slavery, anti-clerical. Okay. So he should be pretty happy. Guaranteed liberties, except he wants guaranteed property at women, protected speech, etc. Okay. On Venezuela, we finally built the second level of railway, so hopefully now, yeah, transportation costs will come down. Doing a urban center. I have motors. Maybe why? Okay, motor industries again, like super expensive. Even though all inputs are cheap. Interesting. Go ahead and speed up. Okay, our capitalists are building shipyards. Not sure what for, but fine. Raising concerns. The intelligentsia have expressed their concerns about government decisions clearly favoring the interests of the industrialists. This needs to be addressed. They need to accept that we cannot always please everyone. Indeed, we can't always please everybody. Let's have a think. A little bit lost. Our country just kind of keeps flipping between one or the other side. We have an unacceptable government. So what would they want to pass, for example? Let's have a look. What do we have most support for? Autocracy? We're not going to back down from universal suffrage. We are kind of a nation divided. Look, there's no laws. Censorship. Total separation. Okay, that's something we can get behind. Catholic Church will hate us. Let's go ahead and enact total separation, I guess. Although rural folk... What are they? Consumption-based taxation, homesteading, agrarianism. Okay, we're not going to go there. National militia, no police they want. They're isolationist, racial segregation. Closed borders, frontier colonization. Not much we can do there, and they're radical as well. Guaranteed liberties, protected speech, universal suffrage. Okay. Armed forces reformer, compulsory primary school, propertied women, cultural exclusion. Loyalist. Jingoist, yeah, it's kind of odd. An oddball mix of Catholic Church. Were they part of? Okay, they're still part of the Conservative Party with the landowners and petite bourgeoisie. Wow, petite bourgeoisie has fallen to 4% clout. Whoosh. Fell off a cliff. Why is that? Not very clear. Clout industrialists. Considered powerful because clout is 18%. Boom. Hang on. Bourgeoisie became marginalized. Okay. Yeah, well, we don't really have a lot of support for anything. Freedom of conscience. Nobody cares. Go ahead, and we have intelligentsia as our leader, the great liberal party. So we have to have some agenda. Boiler explosion. A factory in Bolivar has been rocked by a tremendous boiler explosion, with dozens dead or injured. The story of this tragedy has quickly become a national event. These events are simply the price of progress. Workers should not be exploited and forced into such conditions. Machines are dangerous. Industry itself is a cancer. These events are simply the price of progress. Right. We are in an alliance with rural folk. So workers, I think let's go in the middle. Workers should not be exploited and forced into such conditions. Indeed, we are humane. What's now? Again, we have 8,000 deficit, which is simply not true. 13, 6, I mean, none of these changed. These numbers are going to be exactly the same, and then we're going to see this 8,000 disappear. Right? No, we actually are building up a deficit at that rate. And I don't even understand why. Like, why did this become... There you go, 1,000. Okay, so the expenses haven't changed. Something changed with our national revenue. Why did our national revenue just go down? Powerful, now they're influential. Okay, poll taxes is because consumption taxes changed. Tariffs. Minting, government dividends, investment pool transfer. I think this fell. Oh, is this when... Okay, I think that's in these brief periods where the private sector is not building anything. Because when they are... Oh, I see. Yeah, when the private sector is not building anything, then we don't get the investment pool transfer. That means we pay for like... Yeah, okay. And then we pay a lot for the construction goods. Whereas right now, paying for construction goods, but half of it is offset. So we're not actually spending 13,000 on construction. We're spending 13.6 minus 6.8. I see. That's the reason. That's the reason for that. Okay, we've built another railway in Miranda. It's good. Still a massive shortage of motors. Can we just get this country moving, please? Desperate allies. The proposal for total separation has sat in a deadlock. The intelligentsia have advocated for enlisting Jorge Paez's assistance in rallying petite bourgeoisie in favor of the government. Petite bourgeoisie is marginalized. Okay, petite bourgeoisie gets open to compromise. 15% interest group attraction plus 20% enactment success chance. Yep, make overtures to the undecided. That's 20%. That's good. Okay, national supremacy is now low support but medium radicalism. Is that Catholic Church and petite bourgeoisie? Dear me. Interesting. Let's see what the rest of the world. The United States is expanding. Oof, eating up Mexico even. Wow. Securing the Gulf of Mexico for themselves. What about Europe? We have the German Empire, the Kingdom of France versus the French Peasant Revolt. That is a big revolt. The French Kingdom of France is advancing. How do we see? They are losing 226,000 dead French peasants. Well, they're giving them a good run for their money, so to speak. Okay, French peasants have 273 flotillas, 233 battalions. Could actually win. Although, okay, they've gotten Paris back. German Empire. Number 2 in the world. 96 million GDP. Russia 57 million. Britain remains number 1 with 127 million GDP. Double that of Russia. United States is number 6 with 60 million. Oh, same as Russia. Wow. Grassroots support for the law. The political wills and desires of the lower classes will always remain an opaque matter. For whatever reason, support for total separation has spread like wildfire across Venezuela, spurred on by charismatic speakers and lively debates in small-time social clubs. Public enthusiasm expedites reform. Okay. So research doing steel frame buildings. You know what? Should we actually just go to fertilizer and then dynamite? And then we do steel frame buildings. Like this is a 3-year, and then this is longer. We don't have the money to support steel frame buildings just yet anyway. So I think that was actually kind of a bad choice for us. Okay. Yep, iron. More railways. We have a shortage of everything. We do now have... We have railways running all across our nation. Okay, total separation successfully progressed to the study phase of law enactment. Things our population growth is very low. To be perfectly honest, it seems to me like the more you liberalize in Victoria 3, like the fewer benefits you actually get. You're actually better off pursuing a conservative agenda. Because, yeah, not sure what it gives you exactly. It doesn't make you more powerful in any way. It seems to me, at least. Getting universal suffrage early, not necessarily a good thing. But yeah, I guess we started off with intelligentsia in power, and so we just continued that push. Okay, so see now nothing is being built, and we are tasked with shouldering the entire. Just costs us too much to maintain all of these construction sectors. Boom. Okay, we have built more railways in Bolivar, so we now have level 2 everywhere. Fine, we're building more iron as well. Now minus 3,000, yeah, because... Okay, building paper mills in Zulia. No particular reason, it seems to me. Italy. Paper in our market is cheap. I don't think anyone really wants paper. Do we really want paper? Nobody wants paper. Okay, but there is a little bit of demand for paper, I guess, in Zulia. Interesting, yeah. So things like, for example, paper, it's better now to build one here and one here. In fact, one in each state. So that the local urban center, sorry, the local government administration, right, it needs 20 paper. And paper must produce like 80, yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, you need 1 per 4 urban centers, for 4 government administrations, sorry. Discord within the armed forces. An influential faction within the armed forces has grown frustrated with their co-members' neutrality on the topic of total separation. Themselves in favor of the law, they have now resolved to form a separate political faction intent on passing it. The intelligentsia extend an open hand to these mavericks. Yeah, let's do that. With their support, the bill shall pass. 15% enactment success chance. Yeah, I guess we don't really want them in our government. Just get their support for this bill. We are starting to run up. We're already 2,000 into interest. Okay, let's just build whatever it is we're building. Okay, we'll build iron mines, and that's it. We need to save a bit of money. Are at least to frank, we actually have an unacceptable government, so let's pay off our debts and then we're going to lower our taxes since we're not really in a position to maintain high taxes anymore. Speed up to speed 5. GDP is growing again. That's good. Literacy is growing. Average standard of living is growing. Quinine. Isolation of quinine. Quinine allows it to be used as most effective medicine against the harsh effects of malaria. And rifling is the discovery that by etching spiral grooves... Rifling, what does it do for us? Rifling is a discovery that by etching spiral grooves into the barrel of a gun, it is possible to impart spin on the projectile, thus increasing accuracy. Unlocks the rifles for arms industries. Okay, that's about it. Total separation attracted new supporters, increasing enactment success chance by 15%. Let's pay off some of that debt. Oh my god, GDP just crashed because we stopped building, yeah. Construction sector is like 25% of our GDP. Let's have a think about what is the next step. We got the railways. We now have plenty of infrastructure. The transportation is super cheap. Should we just turn this off a little bit? We're spending a lot of money subsidizing our railways. Here we're only producing 60. Only costs us a little bit. Why does here cost us so much then? Transportation is super cheap, I guess, because here we just need the infrastructure. Because there isn't a lot of demand for transport here. Is that right? Yeah, okay, we'll use that money to pay off our debt a little bit faster. Furniture. Build luxury furniture. Could do. There's 25 wood, 25 and tools. Less furniture, more luxury furniture. Let's try this first. Let's try luxury furniture, right? It just means we need hardwood. Make hardwood. We can make it really cheap as well. Right, for example, furniture manufacturers. Yeah, that's a better idea. Mechanized workshops. Right, more laborers, more machinists and engineers. We need 5 more tools, more wood. We would make 110. Let's try this. Let's go mechanized workshops. Then we do precision tools. Right, and then we produce a lot of furniture and a lot of luxury furniture as well. Alright, let's have a look. Production is now 39. Total separation has successfully progressed to the voting phase of law. enactment. Okay. Produce more furniture for everybody and more luxury furniture. That seems to have worked. Hardwood is... Wow. Everyone wants to work for furniture manufacturers now. Furniture is super cheap. Okay, everything is cheap in our market. Okay, well that's good. That's good. Alright, those goods are wanted by everyone. Maize farms. Can we get grain to be super cheap? I guess it is fairly cheap already. Fertilizer on that expensive. Plus 5,000. Pay off our debt. What's next? What could we build? We could build an explosives factory. That's something we could do. 28 months left. Could do an explosives factory. I mean, it's good. It's going to take a lot of money though. Let's just wait a little bit. Look at our budget. What are we still subsidizing? Railways and tooling workshops. So subsidizing tooling workshops. Hang on a second. Stop doing that. And railway. Subsidizing this railway. Okay, and these two we are subsidizing. So here we really need the transportation. Transportation is cheap. Services are cheap. Transportation is still a little bit expensive in Zulia. Because it has all these farms that are set on to use railways. We now have total separation. No church or faith may interfere in government functions. No religion may be discriminated against. Religion will be accepted based on always. Changed from freedom of conscience. Okay. I guess these things are sort of good to get if you're role-playing a liberal society, but the reality is I don't think anyone in our country wants freedom of conscience. I mean, we are 99% Catholic, aren't we? Right? I mean, 95%. I mean, what religion? We're all Venezuelan. Okay, no, sorry. We're actually 5% with North Andean is 95%. Right. So to be honest, right, if we look at our population charts, religion, we're 99.9, sorry, 99.2 by population Catholics. Does it really matter that we got freedom of conscience? Not really. Tadeo de la Santa Cruz, the leader of the landowners, is retired. Okay. Which I guess is sort of we're liberalizing for the sake of being liberal, but it's not really helping our society. A factory in Miranda has been rocked by a tremendous boiler explosion with dozens dead or injured. The story of this tragedy has quickly become a national event. Workers should not be exploited and forced into such conditions. Yeah, we'll maintain the same line as before. So the reality is, yeah, for example, what we really need is Catholic Church to improve like the birth rate, which it gives, right? Or institutions or health system, we're already at 4. So our mortality is fairly as low as it can be. So we need to get more people into the middle class. I guess that's our objective, right? Child labor allowed. Stricter compulsory primary school. That would be interest groups support this law. Really interesting. Landowners, armed forces, and trade unions support this. Restricted labor, not supported by anyone. Illegitimate government. Okay, so rural folk and intelligentsia make a legitimate government. There we are. Okay, so government has been reformed. We haven't actually had an election. Our next election is coming up. Oh, it's in 168 days. Interesting. I guess that's why we became legitimate, because some of these guys lost, I guess, some of the clout, it seems like to me. Speeding ahead. Aggressive campaigning. Jorge Paez, following an address where he condemned the Free Trade Party, has begun to mobilize dedicated partisans to oppose it in the election. There's certainly a better alternative. Okay, plus 30% momentum will be added to a great liberal party. Pack of miscreants, indeed. Who's our current leader? Is Intelligentsia, isn't he? It's certainly a better alternative. Guess I'm not 100% sure, guys, how to actually like roleplay and play this immersively, because, like, for example, we pick an answer to that event based on our leader, but I think the reality is the way Victoria 3 generally works is that you could actually free to like pick whatever you want, because you're trying to shape the country into whatever you want, I guess. It's a little bit odd, right? I don't know, we're gonna need to kind of think about what is kind of like the, you know, like the touch-off point for roleplay. Whereas in CK3, for example, it's the traits of your king, or whatever, count or duke, right? In Hoi 4, it's your kind of your ideology. Whereas here, not really sure what the touch-off point is, for example. Right now, we don't know home affairs. Yeah, we don't really want the semi-secret police. Radicalized petite bourgeoisie. Armed forces oppose this, but the reality is rural folk and intelligentsia actually want guaranteed liberties and internal security. Well, let's see how this election goes. Right, and then we'll see. So, for example, we can ban secret police. That's definitely possible. God, our GDP just constantly stalled. We're out paying 1,000 in interest, which I don't like. Let's go ahead and just save up some money. Ooh, infrastructure is super low here. Hang on a second. Okay, we need to subsidize these railways in Bolivar to get the infrastructure up. Right, let's go ahead and speed up. Unfortunately, we have to pay for these railways. Okay, not enough iron, really? More, okay, motor industries in Zulia, okay. Elections due in 14 days. What happens? Election. Okay, the Conservative Party is back. Ooh, it's actually super close between the Great Liberal Party and the Conservative Party. We could remain in power. Right, we could remain in power. They're all angry at us. Just landowners. No, the president is... Okay, so whoever won the majority, he does become the president. Oh, it's an unacceptable government. Okay, so although he's the president... Wait, hang on, how does this... He's the president, but the government is composed of the Great Liberal Party. And that is the most legitimate government we can get. It's contested, but it's not too bad. let's keep it as it is then. Okay, Kingdom of France. They've beaten the peasants. So it's protective of us, cooperative, cautious, protective, Gino. Okay, everyone likes us apart from Spain. Can change color, but we don't want to. Particularly, right? He's a reformer. Who's our president? Ruler and politician, landowners, reformer. This leader wants to make a few incremental changes to make society just a bit more equal, but not too much. He wants cultural exclusion, properties, women, and compulsory primary school. National supremacy, appointed bureaucrats. Cultural exclusion. Consumption based. Well, compulsory primary school be a good one. Cultural exclusion is perhaps not bad. Foreign cultures with nothing common with your primary cultures are discriminated against. Foreign cultures of different heritage are discriminated against. So we have more authority, but fewer radicals. Landowners, intelligentsia, armed forces support this law. Unlocked by slavery, multiculturalism. We need human rights for multiculturalism, that no cultures are discriminated against. But everyone opposes this. Whereas this one is opposed by rural folk who are in government. Yeah, not much traction here either. Nobody wants national supremacy. Seems like racial segregation is where everyone lands at the moment. Okay, no great support either way here. Professional army. Slight support, most people don't really care. We are growing very slowly, saving a bit of money. More motor industries. We can build perhaps an explosives factory, right? In preparation of discovery of dynamite. Industrial barriers. Factories in Zulia have been reported to be placing Guajiro people into roles with incredibly poor work conditions, owing to their status as second-class citizens in Venezuela. Yeah. For example, here, I guess there isn't really that much scope for roleplay, right? I mean, this unequal treatment cannot stand. I guess, yeah. Let's say that. I mean, right now we don't even have a our government is composed of intelligentsia and rural folk. I mean, I doubt rural folk would be very liberal. But our leader is a landowner. Tricky to roleplay this properly. Let's have a look. What about Colombia? Colombia is now at 5, double our GDP. We almost caught up with them. Yeah, but they've done much better than us. Much better. They're a republic, but they do have the Catholic Church, industrialists and landowners. In Brazil, likewise, has done way better than us. Way better. They also, of course, have the Catholic Church, landowners, petite bourgeoisie in power. Bolivia, Chile, Argentina. Expanding. Steel railway cars unlocked. Steel railway cars allows trains to be much sturdier and in turn to carry much more weight. Okay. That just kind of spread. Okay, but what's next? Improved fertilizer. What will I give us? By experimenting with different chemicals, it is possible to make even more effective fertilizers. Okay, improved fertilizer for fertilizer plants and fertilizers for all the agricultural industries. Okay, it's nice, but I mean, it will give our economy a little kick. Economy's tanking. Very, very interesting. Railways. Subsidized. We now do have more than enough infrastructure here. Producing what? One motor? Okay, let's... Oh, is it because we now have motor industries here as well? They're also producing one. Really odd. So now we're producing 4. Don't really understand where our motors are coming from then. Luxury clothes, for example. We have buy orders 8. Why the... I mean, we are producing... Oh, sorry, we're not producing luxury furniture, right? Okay. Luxury clothes, we don't actually want all that much. Meat. Okay, it's super expensive, but nobody wants meat. Let's say buy orders. People want wood in our economy. And we're only producing 460. People want wheat. Those are the 2 goods most in demand. Tools. Yeah, we need more tools. Well, here they are, guys. But I mean, okay, steel apparently is expensive. Oh. I don't know what to tell you guys, other than we actually build more of the stuff that we want. But I guess we're constantly short on labor. That is our issue, really. Steel shortage. Can we increase the supply of steel? Something like steel is worth subsidizing because then it's used everywhere. And it pulls up the rest of the economy with it. Right, for example, iron mines. Iron is super cheap. As long as we're not building anything, iron is cheap, yeah. Okay, well, now it's 6,500. And our government is contested, so I would suggest... Well, if we go to normal taxes, it's about all we can afford, really. Let's see if people become happier for that. If we build explosives factories, sure, we could build dynamite and extract more, you know, iron, but do we need more iron? No, we do not. Steel, I mean, what do we need more of? Everything's actually pretty cheap. We need more services. In Bolivar, but for that we need more urbanization, right? And then we can build more urban centers. Without that, we just can't build any urban centers here. We're coming up on 1886, so that's 40... So that's 50 years into the game. Yeah, a little bit of a conundrum. Okay, our population is at least now going up. That's good. It's because our standard of living is going up, right? It's kind of what we need to do. We need to get our standard of living up. To me, that means we need to get more people into the middle strata. Or give them more money. Okay, yeah, now everyone has access. Everyone's pretty well off, so everything's actually going pretty well. Right, nothing's particularly expensive. Like, everything is pretty cheap. We're producing everything we need. Meat? No one really buys meat. Luxury clothes could be cheaper. Porcelain. But there's like buy orders 10. That's something we could import, to be really honest. Import trade routes. Sorry, not luxury furniture, luxury clothes. From the Russian market. Yeah, let's get some amount 5. Alright, and we can get some from the Austrian market. Amount 5. They bankrolled us before, so for example, that should make... Yeah, there you go. That's brought the price down to a reasonable level. Porcelain. Alright, import trader to porcelain. Let's get that in from Austrian market. Austrian porcelain for the upper strata. Against the odds. Despite not enjoying full rights under Venezuelan law, some wealthier Amazonian peoples have begun moving into neighborhoods and frequenting establishments they would normally be excluded from. We may need some new regulations to keep peace. They have fairly earned their success, with all it entails. I think so. Colombia have declared Los Altos to be their rival. Who's Los Altos? Where are they? Oh, okay, Los Altos. Okay, Colombia is formed. But their flag is like the vertical version of ours. Okay. Copycat. Improved fertilizer unlocked. By experimenting with different chemicals, it's possible to make even more effective fertilizers. Oh, so now we can make, for example, maize even cheaper, right? Grain is good. Cheaper grain for the whole market. Except we need a lot of fertilizer now. Will our industry adjust? Get us more fertilizer? I mean, look at our sulfur and iron is super cheap, guys. Money maker right here. Boom. We don't even need improved fertilizers. Internet are now powerful. Okay. So that's good. So we now have more fertilizer here. Where else can we use more fertilizer? Tobacco plantations? No. That just needs irrigation. Banana. I think perhaps here rice. Rice farms. Could produce a lot. I got to fertilize. We could produce so much grain, it would be super cheap. Well, that should make our lower strata much wealthier. That should lead to higher population growth. Right? Cheap foods for everybody. And it should boost our fertilizer industry as well. We have lots of fertilizer. We got lots of sulfur. Let's go ahead and just give... Yeah, there we go. More fertilizer. Okay, we don't have iron. Why do we not have iron? Yeah, okay, let's get iron going as well, guys. It's a good boost to our industry. There we go. More iron. More fertilizer. Let's go, guys. More. Alright. This is fully employed and still we need more. Improved fertilizers. Right, even more. Okay, there we go. That's boosting our industry. Finally, we'll hopefully break that 3 million mark. Perhaps, right? Fertilizer, we got lots of rice farms. 4 of them. Yep, grain is now super cheap. Everything is great. Anything else that needs more fertilizer? And sulfur? We could do explosives. What do we need it for? Explosives are... let's have a look. For example, if we build an explosives artillery foundry, probably. Explosives factory, let's say, right? Explosives. Producing explosives used in munitions, coal mines, iron mines, construction sector. Yeah, if we're gonna go to the next level of construction after dynamite, yeah, we need explosives. Rotary valve engine for furniture manufacturers. Okay, is that the one that... let's just quickly have a look. Rotary valve. Yeah, that would... needs fewer laborers required. That's what we need as well. To be honest, we need that more than dynamite. Let's get the rotary valve engine. Then we get dynamite. And then we get construction. The construction is like a real long shot. We don't actually need to construct things that quickly. In fact, we would still be living, I feel like, with the first 10 construction, which is free. Steel mills in Zulia. Okay. We're gonna break through... Oof. Hang on a second. Bureaucracy. Government administration. Bureaucracy, taxation, capacity, urbanization. So here we need services. That means... let's build a... government administration building in Bolivar. Yeah, but let's go ahead and set that, guys. But we're actually coming up on the hour again. And yeah, let's go ahead and pause here. We're in 1886. We're 50 years into the game, so halfway through the game, and there we are. We actually hit that 3 million GDP mark finally. All right, so we're up 6 times in our GDP. I think we started with about 10, so 3.5 times in our literacy. I think we started at 7, pretty low, right? So we are slowly improving our average standard of living, which is exactly what's boosting our population here. You know, that fertilizer tech really, yeah, I guess it's improved our GDP, but importantly, it's made everything a lot cheaper, even for these guys, which means they have this excess to improve their standard of living. And the more they do that, yeah, the more standard of living. Right now, we kind of scale very well with standard of living, because with standard of living, we get more private schools, because we get 1.5% per wealth education access. We have private health insurance, importantly, 0.8% mortality per wealth. So at 10 wealth, we get minus 8% mortality. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so hopefully our population is now going to take off. But we need people, make people wealthier. And we'll figure that out in the next episode. But yeah, hope you're enjoying it. A little bit slower than I expected, and a little bit, it's kind of unclear. I didn't want to make this just about economic dominance, and this is making the game a little kind of weird. I'm not really sure where exactly we're going, but this is at least an alternative path, because I think with Chile we have learned that, yeah, you get Catholic Church and kind of you stay conservative, as long as you have the resources. I mean, Chile's helped a lot by the gold mines. But here we're trying to balance the budget and build up our country. To be honest, in hindsight, it's not really worth liberalizing early at all. But it's just we started with the intelligentsia, so it feels like roleplay-wise, we're supposed to liberalize. Right? We're a new nation, and it seemed like we were yeah, on a path to liberalization. So yeah, so I mean, if you have different views or thoughts or ideas about how to roleplay Victoria 3 in general better, or this, you know, in the particular playthrough, any decisions I've made, do let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.